This is Penny.
And this is Drew. And today we are going to review the trailer of a Nigerian movie called Nigerian Prince. This is a 2018 movie. If I read the IMDb, it says, after being sent to Nigeria against his will, a stubborn Nigerian-American teenager joins forces with an internet scammer in order to return to the United States. It is directed by Faraday Okoro, writers are Faraday Okoro and Andrew Long, and it stars Antonio J. Bell, Chinaza Uche, and Tina Mba. Mba? I don't know how to pronounce it. So it sounds interesting. Let's see.
That boy is cute. The teenage American boy is cute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Nigerian American boy who suddenly realizes he's a Nigerian, not an American, but doesn't accept it. And what I find ironical is that fellow, the scammer, he says, my name is Pius. He's Pius and he's scamming people, right? And he gives a statement to that boy that people are fools and anybody can be scammed. Anybody can be fooled. Actually, I think that boy should have realized there and then itself that maybe he was scamming him in the first place. He was trying to scam him in the first place. You know, often people get hints, but you don't take them seriously. You don't realize the seriousness of things or the truth of things when they are in your face. But he gets involved in these things. Towards the end, it becomes something like, if you want do you want to do this while you still have your head? You know, I think the cop says that. My God, I mean, just because he wanted to go back home to America where he had been born and brought up, probably. He just wanted to go home, and that's why he just got involved in whatever he could do. His mother didn't listen to him. She kind of, she scammed him into going to Nigeria, and she cancelled his return ticket. So he was like desperate. And then he fell for a scammer, and he got in deep trouble, it seems.
This is, very interesting. And also the scarier part to me is that the police are also corrupt. And this was something we saw in the movie Masan. Masan is a fantastic movie. There are three stories, yeah. And there was one with Richa Chadha, and you see when the police is corrupt, like how miserable someone's life can be. But you brought out a good point. Like, I didn't think about it that way, that his mother scammed him. Like anybody can be scammed. And that's true. There's no one who cannot be scammed. There could be different kinds of scams. Someone can create a sense of urgency and you get scammed. Someone could create an emotional need and you can get scammed. Someone could create a financial need and you can get scammed. Anybody can be scammed. It's just almost like a messed up art form. You know, people who do it well, they know they can judge these vulnerabilities. It also reminds me of, in a weird way, Ladies versus Ricky Bale. Because he was such a good scammer. He would try and use his charms to entice the ladies, but he could even gauge. There was one character who wasn't attracted to him, and he was able to scam even her because he understood her needs, and her needs were more about professional needs and looking good in front of her boss. So if the scammer is smart enough and understands what your needs are, then you can be scammed. The other thing interesting was, so his mother was probably a doctor or something, a medical professional in the US. You could see that coat on her. And so I guess he was kind of well-to-do. Maybe he was spoiled even, I don't know. We have to see the movie to understand. But then when he goes to Nigeria, I think he was sent to either his mother's friend or some kind of relative, that lady. That's where he met her son, who Pius was her son. Because when he introduces himself, he's like, my mother usually doesn't allow guests or something like that. So
right.
I think he was her son, and gets into these kind of issues. And it's also interesting how the dialogues were great, because in a simple sentence he said, oh, so you are a Nigerian scammer. Like, it's a stereotype, and it's not necessarily a wrong stereotype, but he did say that you can just call me a scammer, because
Yeah.
scammers are all across the world, but maybe Nigeria is known more for that stereotype than other places in the world, because there's scammers everywhere. For example, when I was still on my work visa, and I got this call. The person sounded Indian, and he said that I'm from the IRS and you haven't paid your taxes. I freaked out. And that's why my thought processes were like diminished, because I was like, I'm an immigrant, I'm on a work visa, and I don't want to mess up that situation for something that I didn't intend to do. And he was scaring me. He's like, if you hang up this call, there will be an arrest warrant going out for you. So he
Whoa.
scared me so much, and I was kind of new into the workforce, new into the country. I was very innocent. I asked him, okay, what is your full name? He gave me full name immediately. I asked him, what is your batch number? He immediately gave me a batch number. And then I was like, I calmed down, and I'm like, this guy sounds Indian. So I didn't hang up the call because he had told me not to. So I kept him on the call. I started dialing another number, and he could hear that I was dialing another number. So he was then like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm dialing another number. He's like, why? Who are you calling? I'm like, why do you care? And he's like, well, I just want to make sure that everything is all right and you're following the instructions. I'm like, what kind of an IRS agent is this? And then it kind of like struck me then, because it's very obvious, but then when you are in a panicked mode, you don't understand. He was very weird about it. So I hung up. I immediately called the IRS, and the IRS said that we never call anyone. We send a letter.
Whoa.
And we send a letter and we give you a chance. We never call people to collect money. So that was my experience. And I was a master's degree holder. I worked in the tech sector, and I was like all of those things. Yet when you're panicked, they can tap into your insecurities and make that work against you.
Because when you're in a panic mode, you're actually in the survival mode. You're
Yeah.
not really adapting. You're not really thinking about these kind of things. You're just, okay, I need to survive. I need to survive. So at that time, you're not thinking forward. You're not calculative. You're not even practical.
Yeah.
You don't go beyond that. So that's why they create a sense of fear, so that people go into a panic mode and respond in that manner.
There was another actually story I heard, that there was this lady who started chatting with this Nigerian guy, and they kind of started falling in love, and she really started having feelings for him. He asked for money to save his stepdaughter. She sent money, a lot of money. And then it was actually a young guy who kind of felt bad and messaged her that, I'm sorry I did this, because you're a good person, this, that. She actually went to Nigeria and met with him. And she opened an art gallery for him, because he was an artist and that's what he wanted to become. And she included a whole lot of other people in Nigeria who wanted to become artists, and she helped them do that. So that's a good story, which was unusual, but yeah, it was kind of,
Completely unusual. And how benevolent of her to forgive him and be so kind.
yeah, and
That's like
trusting enough to go to Nigeria and meeting him.
true.
Something else, unusual story. Unusual in the sense as well that the kid was also like truthful about it, that I scammed you, I feel bad, you're a good person. So
Yeah.
in any case, I think this is a very interesting story. We don't hear the side of, we always look at scammers as bad people, but what are their needs? What are their necessities? What do they face? How are the authorities in Nigeria? What are they doing to curb this? And from the perspective of an American, what this is like, all of that. That's kind of, I thought this was a very cool trailer, really cool.
Yeah. The cop, he says, this boy is an American. Are you trying to scam him? So it's kind of like the cop, for him, it's also quite evident that because this guy is an American, there's going to be a scam. bait, his bait. It's
Yeah.
like red herring or something. He must have good money. He must be not aware of the scamming going on in Nigeria. He must be trusting uh, some kind of those type of stereotypes. So the cop was like, he just clicked, okay, this one is an American, so you must be trying to scam him.
Yeah, one thing I didn't understand is like, why did that professional scammer need this guy? Like, was it a special kind of project? And if this guy had that money, like what, 4 million or whatever the cop was asking for, if this kid had that, did this kid scam the scammer by saying, I have 4 million? Because if he did have that much money, why didn't he buy himself a return flight? So it's maybe everyone's scamming each other.
Actually true, yeah. I feel like maybe the kid did not have the money, but the scammer knew how to use the kid for his ends. Maybe it was not even about the 4 million. Maybe it was through the kid something else, and through that something else, and then eventually your own gain. And I feel, there could be scammers. I mean, con artists, scammers, these people are a different kind of category of you can say artists actually.
Yeah.
It's not always about the money. It's not probably always about what gains you are making. It's about probably just the fun or the kick you get out of it.
It's a rush.
I was able to do this because, see, at the end of the day, human beings are problem solvers, and we need to solve problems. And when we don't have problems, we create them for ourselves or for others, and then we go about trying to solve them and see what we can do out of it.
It's a rush.
Yes.
So I know certain people who are not really like complete scammers, but sometimes in a sales pitch, they are able to sell a substandard product for something else. That's a kind of a scam. It's to me it is. Or that's what salespeople do in a legal way. So not all of them, but many of them do it, and that's the truth about it. That it is an art form, and that's why they're paid so much, because most people can't do what they're doing. It's a skill that you have or you don't. It can be developed, I suppose, but you still have to have a knack for it, I feel.
Yeah. In the end, we're always, I think, scamming each other some way or the other, isn't it? We're always, when you're trying to get your benefit, what is your benefit? Benefit is, of course, where you gain something more than what you deserve. And then in that manner, everybody becomes a scammer, because you are trying to do that all the time. Whether it is monetary or not monetary is another thing, but we are scammers at the end of the day, all of us.
True. I think it's a cool way to look at it. It's very realistic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. All right, guys. So if you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel. Also, actually go ahead and like our video and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. We usually do that on Mondays. And leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing, or if there are other interesting movies you want us to review. Until next time, फिर मिलेंगे.